Extended means that it's going to have to be something of substance. This is going to be
So we
more
have
of
to
your
fit
short informational.
because it's only a
Yes.
couple pages.
Right. So this needs to be an anchor text that you're referring back to discuss
But there was a guy who was
whatever you're doing
the
here.
results.
The citizenship and government in Ohio.
These wouldn't be bad to put up for parents to see, for kids to be constantly looking at when they're, coming and going. Because think how often they're in the hallways.
Yeah.
How many times they pass that?
Or even at our student-led conferences to have those out. Right. For the kids to even go back to.
Well, that's the other thing. That's what I was thinking. Because how many times are parents in our building?
Well, even that is like as our explanation of what the work is on the bulletin board. Like where did it come from?
Well, and
What
where
we've been
parents
working
can
with.
see, that's why that writing wasn't, or was what the teacher was looking for. That's why it had to be so specific. Because these are the things that you're working toward, and this is the material you're using. We haven't found many very old rocks on Earth because the planet's surface is constantly renewed by plate tectonics coupled with erosion, which was interesting because it led to some of the vocabulary that we needed. Obviously, the literature piece we're just talking about, there's going to be a lot of, I think, go back and dig on our parts for things that we know will fit in here, but we didn't really necessarily come prepared to think about science, so having that text on hand would have been handy. But even as we talked, more and more things kind of cropped up. This piece, I think we were talking about going back and doing some dig and then having some conversation about the pieces that we choose to go in each section, and then constructing the prompts to go along with it.
Cooperation and conflict between the Ohio Indians and the settlers. As we worked through this, we had started it, but as we worked through this, we decided that we really needed to have two columns here for vocabulary. And one would be the literary vocabulary that needs to be addressed, and the other would be the social studies or science vocabulary that needs to be addressed. And then we said we could put the I can statements for social studies here, and the I can statements for all of the literature is going to go over here. Most of what we have for this is going to be under research. And we decided that to take the short literary text and divide it into two parts so we could have a poetry section. And then we decided to add a technology section because there are a lot of really good websites that would go really well with this, and interactive websites, in fact. What we did is we looked at the pieces that we were using, the literature, and we identified the terms that they needed to know.
And then what you do for research?
For the research,
Did you do the same?
what we did is we looked at that Common Core book that you had, and we looked at the vocabulary they had there, and we divided it. We decided to group it according to where it would probably fit better. So that, in other words, we put descriptive language and relationships up here, because with Sign of the Beaver, we know that there's going to be descriptive language, and that they have talk about relationships between the characters. And then we have said, whoa, if you're coming to the word like rhythm, word choice, imagery, that goes great with poetry, so we decided to sub that. And then theme and meaning would go really well with myths and legends that we cover. So we decided to look at what we're covering. A lot of the informational text would go with cause and effect, procedure, events. So that's how we decided to do that.